We went with General Hodges to the edge of the Arghandab Valley, which has seen very fierce fighting recently. A soldier from the 82nd Airborne was killed there by an IED while we were here. American troops under General Hodges' command have, with Afghan police, set up a system of 13 checkpoints around Kandahar city to, they say, disrupt the freedom of movement for insurgents in that area. Checkpoint 9-1 is brand new. It's on high ground overlooking the Arghandab, and it is hot, it is dusty, and did I mention it's hot?
President Karzai, a lot of senior leaders in Afghan history have come from this area also. They're very proud of that fact. So it's just an important area. So having control of Arghandab is an important part of controlling, providing security for Kandahar city. 60%, 55% of Arghandab is under government control now. The other 40-45% is contested.
I mean, you get the sense both of, I mean, this is probably naive of me to say, but you get a sense equally of how hard this is and how committed the forces are to trying to make it work, despite what an uphill climb it is.
That's true. I think that, the soldiers, and you just heard the NCOP there, he's very professional.
Yes.
And they are protecting the population so that they can trust their own government is what Hamkari is all about. And the security ring is probably the most visible manifestation of that.
Do you expect, because it's so visible, do you expect it to attract attack?
I do, because the enemy will see that this is going to start having a positive effect. People will feel more secure because there's police out there that are, these things are not toll booths, and so it'll be a threat to the enemy's ability to just kind of move around. As you saw flying over Kandahar city and driving through it, it is not a Taliban stronghold, but there is a sense of real need for law and order, and there's no doubt that there are Taliban in there. These checkpoints will significantly reduce their ability just to kind of go in, threaten people in town, and do that sort of thing. So, people worry about assassinations of government officials, that sort of thing. This is part of preventing that.
I know this is a difficult question, but if over the next year it essentially doesn't work to establish better governance in Kandahar, if the police efforts, the policing efforts, security efforts don't combine to create enough space for Afghan government to step up in a way that is working, I don't get the sense that there's a plan B. Is there a plan B? Is plan B just more time?
There's no reason why this shouldn't be successful if the Afghans do their part. I mean, I've never met an officer that didn't want more capability, so I would never turn away more engineers or more military police. But we have enough to do what we have got to do in Kandahar, assuming that the Afghans step up and do their part.
If they don't?
We will have given them the best chance they've ever had.
You can only control about 20% of the variables that are going to determine the outcome here.
Well, that's true, and I think that's why General Carter said, look, you got to have an Afghan solution. We've been trying for years to come up with a coalition solution. All well-intended, great ideas that maybe just were not sustainable in an Afghan culture, or financially were not sustainable. So letting the Afghans come up with a solution where we're the enablers in terms of helping with security, so those things can take root. I think the people live out here, they want to support their government. Their government's got to give them a reason to it. Yeah. I think they're predisposed to want to support their government so that they can, continue to harvest the best pomegranates in Central Asia and export them, but the government's got to do certain things to allow that to happen.
It swung real wide for us. If things don't work, if for all that American troops are doing here, if the space they're trying to create for the Afghan government to fill in isn't filled in by the Afghan government, then, as General Hodges says, we'll have given them the best chance they've ever had. That's what the deadline for next summer for starting to leave is all about. It's not about the Taliban. It's really not. At least it isn't in Kandahar. That deadline is to create a sense of urgency to stand up Afghan police and Afghan governance now. we're not staying, and they have to know we're not staying if we want them to take advantage of the fact that U.S. troops are here now to provide security and kill Taliban guys, if we want them to act with a sense of urgency to start doing policing and governance here. Here, now, while they can with us. Here now because they know we won't stay forever. None of what's happening right now in terms of building up Afghan capacity to compete with the Taliban would be happening without that July 2011 deadline looming. And anyone who tells you differently doesn't know what they're talking about, Senator.